2024 has been an amazing year for both free-to-play and paid games, and the free games have been especially good. We have been doing different content on our channel, so we really haven't covered the newer free games that have come out. Every single one of these games is totally free, although they do have stores that you can spend real money in. So here are the 10 biggest free-to-play games that released in 2024. Dark and Darker is hit or miss with us, but a ton of people enjoy it. If you don't know what it is, it's an extraction game that takes you into a fantasy world. You choose from one of 9 classes, and they are all based on well-known fantasy class types like Barbarian, Mage, or Rogue. Each class is unique and gives the game a ton of replayability. The main reason we aren't massive fans of this type of game is because extraction games have been a bit overused in the last couple of years. It's like Escape from Tarkov in a fantasy dungeon. You go in with gear, or you can choose to go in with nothing, but if you die, you lose everything you had on you. It is very hardcore and fun if you have a good squad of people to do runs with. The main reason we are tired of extraction games is because playing the game is stressful at times. There is a time for stressful games, but most of the time you just want to chill. If you like the games that challenge you in PvP and PvE, then you will really enjoy this one. Enlisted is a very unique World War II first-person shooter that has a cool twist on gameplay. So when you look at this game, you probably think of Battlefield, but it's very different from the basic Battlefield genre. You actually command a squad of a couple different soldiers, and you can choose what classes you want your squad to be. There are over 16 unique classes with specialized perks and weapons to choose from, so it's great if you want a ton of customization. You control one of the soldiers in your squad, and if that soldier dies, then you can take the control of another soldier in your unit. There are also a ton of missions to choose from, so there is a ton of content that you can enjoy in the game. You can go up against AI or other players, so there are endless possibilities with this game, and if you enjoy World War II games that aren't like the normal FPS games, then you'll really enjoy this one. Palia is a game we put on other lists on this channel. It's a great game if you enjoy chill life sim type games. It's like if Stardew Valley and My Time at Portia were combined. The game has you and a group of friends crafting, fishing, and farming in an open world. You can also go hunting. The main goal of the game is to figure out what has happened to the ancient civilization that used to live in the area. There are a ton of NPCs that you can trade with and talk to, so there is a story to the game. There's also a full base building system as well, so you can customize your own houses. Keep in mind that the game itself is a cozy game. You probably hear that term a lot, but this game is definitely worth playing, especially if you have some people to play with. You can play it solo, but it is better with friends. Once Human is a game we have played on stream and gave it a good chance. It was one of our most anticipated free games of this year before it released, because the setting and gameplay looked really unique. It is a survival game, but is also a looter shooter boss fight game as well. You go around the world completing the main story quest, and you can also build up your base. You can craft new gear by collecting crafting materials from enemies, and you can play the game with your friends as well. The game itself gets pretty boring late game though, but the progression is actually pretty satisfying. It feels like a mixture of PUBG and Rust, but it's a PvE game. It is a great game solo or with a group. Predecessor is a MOBA game that has you choosing a class out of a pool of 35 heroes. With MOBAs though, it is a very niche genre of game that's more popular in Asian countries, so be prepared to get stomped by someone you can't even read the name of. Do keep in mind that the game itself is sitting at a mixed review score on Steam, so it isn't the greatest MOBA game. So if you don't know the difference between a MOBA and a hero shooter, then we'll explain it. A hero shooter is usually a 5v5 PvP experience that has you fighting just enemy players. A MOBA is a PvPvE game. You need to fight both players and AI. You also need to complete objectives, so it's a lot harder to understand. Overwatch is a hero shooter and is a totally different experience than this game. It's more in line with games like League of Legends and Deadlock, so if you enjoy MOBA games, then you should definitely check this game out for yourself. Spectre Divide is one of those games that has amazing potential, but it is not as big as people hoped it would be. It's a game that the streamer Shroud helped create. If you like Valorant or CS2, then you should look into this game. It's an FPS game that's a 3v3 shooter. What makes it unique is the Spectre system. So it's a 3v3 game, but each player gets 2 characters they control. They can only control one at a time, so you need to be careful to not let both your characters die, or else you will lose. You need to plant a bomb at a zone and survive till the end of the round. The only downside to this game is the fact that the player count is extremely low. As we said before, it has amazing potential, but is not big at all. If you do play the game, keep in mind that you might get a server with extremely high ping just because there aren't many people playing it. So if you like games like CS2 or Valorant, then go check this game out. The First Descendant is one of our favorite free games that has come out this year. Not only is it one of our favorite genres of games, but it also is extremely satisfying to play. It is a looter shooter with a ton of grinding in it. The game also has a campaign to play through, but the story is absolute garbage, so don't go in expecting a Red Dead Redemption 2 level story. There are a ton of characters to level up, and there is a prestige system with the characters and the weapons. Each one has its own abilities that you can fully customize, so there are a ton of options in the game. Do keep in mind that there is a ton of paid currency in the game that can speed up the grind, but it isn't pay to win. You can purchase the different Descendants, but you can't purchase anything that can make you better at the game. If you enjoy looter shooters like Destiny or Outriders, then you will really enjoy this one. Delta Force is a non-Battlefield game that does Battlefield better than Battlefield. The game itself is basically a Battlefield 2042 clone, but it does a bunch of things better than 2042 itself. First of all, it has fully destructible environments. Yes, all the buildings can be destroyed. It also has a fully fleshed out campaign, which 2042 was missing. Delta Force also has an extraction mode, but you know our thoughts on extraction modes. It is fun, but we would rather play the 32v32 multiplayer battles with the respawn system. There are specialists to choose from that have different abilities, and you can use pretty much any weapon with any operator. The game isn't fully out yet as of this video's release, and is going to be releasing on December 4th. When it releases, it will come out with a ton of content. Keep in mind that the campaign will be sold separately as DLC and will not be free, but the multiplayer and extraction modes will be entirely free. So, if you enjoy FPS games like Battlefield, then you'll really enjoy this one. Path of Exile 2 is one of our most anticipated games of this year. We are huge fans of games similar to Diablo, and this game is going to be a contender to Diablo 4 for us. If you have played the first Path of Exile, you will know how insane the game is. People have put thousands of hours into it, and people have high hopes for the sequel. It isn't fully out yet and is slated for December 2024, or it could be pushed to 2025, who knows. If you're watching this video after the game releases, then let us know what you think of the game and if it's better than the first one. The game looks amazing and the playtests have come back pretty positive. We hope it is just as insane as the first game, and it's going to be entirely free. It is coming out in early access when it releases, so it won't be fully complete, but it will just get better and better after launch. Throne and Liberty is an MMORPG that feels like an old school MMO game from the early 2000s. We put it as number 1 on the list because it is the game we had the most fun with out of all the games on the list. The graphics are actually amazing and the character customization is actually pretty good. The only gripe we have is that you need to be locked onto an enemy to deal damage to them. The game feels like if New World and Lost Ark had a baby. Do keep in mind that you will need to group up with a guild later on in the game. Once you get to max level and you want to grind out dungeons, solo play can get pretty difficult. If you do play the game, try to get some friends to play with you, or just join a guild with a ton of active people. There are hundreds of thousands of people playing the game, so there are plenty of guilds to join. If you like MMORPG games, then you should check this one out. Free-to-play games can be hit or miss, and some of the games on this list are not great, but these are the biggest ones that came out in 2024. If you started playing one of these games because of the list, then let us know which one you like down in the comment section below. If you found the video helpful, then make sure to give it a like. Consider subscribing if you enjoy our content. Also, we have a ton of new merch designs on our website, so make sure to check those out as well. All links are in the description, and thanks for watching.